Hello and welcome to FPL, mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2020-21 season. My name is Dan, and yeah, the music is playing. When that music starts to play, I know it's time for a deadline stream, isn't it, guys? It's time to talk about FPL for the last time of the game week, and yeah, get ready. Just adjusting my screen here to make sure everything looks nice and pristine. Not quite there yet. Ready to talk about FPL for the game week. Obviously, guys, when I made my team selection video yesterday, I didn't actually have my final scores on it because I know the audio and the video is a little bit out of sync, guys. Hopefully that will be fine. My final scores were, as it turns out, a little bit better than I thought they might be. So we'll have a quick look at that. First of all, we'll say hello to everyone. Hello, everyone. In particular to the beautiful channel members. Ethan Fernandez, Adam Pearce is here, off-core, yo. Moldy's here as well, the mod in the know, the Wolves man himself. So yeah, there's lots to talk about. It's going to be a crazy week for a lot of people, just because of the blank. I think a lot of people are taking hits. I've already taken a hit. I'll show you my team in a second, but a few of you might already know who I'm rolling with, because I did say yesterday what I'm going to be doing for the transfers, and that's all done. That's all set up now. But I do want to quickly, very, very quickly, just show you what we got. What we got for the final scores. Because we've had a nice green arrow. We've gone up 30,000 places, which is quite nice. I mean, if you could do that every week, it's not bad, is it? Particularly at this rank. So yeah, 9 players played. No Mendy, no backup goalkeeper, no Sanchez, no backup defenders. Everyone else did okay, generally speaking. Obviously, Shaw, Jota and Salah not starting let the side down a little bit out of those who did start. But wow, what a great night last night was. Castagna, my differential, I guess, sort of only 2% owned at my rank, Castagna. So I really picked him out because I did really fancy a Leicester clean sheet in this nice run of fixtures that they've got. And I thought, well, with Castagna, you've got that opportunity for some nice scores. And when he gets up the pitch, and he did, didn't he? He was right, he could have scored 2 goals and, had 2 assists. He played fantastically. It really was brilliant to see. I mean, a lovely 11 points, clean sheet, assist, 2 bonus. For a differential, that's not bad at all. That's really not bad going. And then also, Lingard scored. Rashford is still outperforming Bruno, so that was a good shout. I think that was a pretty good shout, going for Rashford over Bruno. I'm still pretty happy with that, despite his injury doubts and whatever. Kane only captain and not a triple captain, which was a little bit worrying, to be fair, because so many people had. I know we spoke about this last deadline stream, didn't we? Whereas Kane was going to be so highly owned, so highly captained, so highly triple captained, that even when you've single captained him, you still lose points every time he scores. Every time he gets points, you lose points. That's what happens. But yeah, we've done quite well. We've done quite well. But there we go. Yeah, so that's that done. 73 points, nice green arrow. Survived the fact that 2 of my players didn't play, which is an absolute nightmare. But whatever, we march on. I'll go into my pick team screen, just so you can see what I've got going on for this game week. I'll show you the bench as well, but there's really not too much going on there. There you go. You see all that, and then yeah. So I've gone for Greenwood in. I've gone for Alexander-Arnold in. Good news for me, I guess, is that I got rid of Phillips. Phillips is apparently not ready to play. So that was a good transfer out. Son wasn't going to play because he can't play. So that was a good transfer out. Alexander-Arnold and Greenwood in. I pretty much, even with the -4, I'm pretty much guaranteed to gain points there, you'd say. So 2 good transfers, and I'm happy. I am considering making a 3rd transfer. Let's talk to Siddharth Patil first, who's been very kind with a super chat. Hi Dan, who do you suggest I captain? I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Greenwood, Bruno, Jota, and Nacho. Even considering Veltman, what do you think? Out of those players, I would most consider Iheanacho and Trent Alexander-Arnold. If you look at players kind of most likely to get some kind of return this game week, I would genuinely say that Alexander-Arnold is up there, which is why I was so keen to get him in now. Because I look at Newcastle and I look at Trent Alexander-Arnold and the type of player he is, putting in lots of crosses, being very creative, far more creative than any other defender in the entirety of the Premier League. He's against a Newcastle team which are quite susceptible to cross chances, headed chances. Newcastle kind of one of the worst defences in the league as well. Alexander-Arnold, and you know, Newcastle also not very good at scoring goals. So in that regard, Trent is actually got a very good chance of a nice score. Iheanacho, I would probably favour as a captain just because he's an attacking player. He's in such good form. Like I mean, I watched that. I was glued to the screen last night watching Leicester against West Brom because I knew my whole game week depended on it. FPL Casual coming in here. Afternoon, mate. Team locked in. Beer out. Good luck, bro. Thank you very much, FPL Casual, for the super chat. Good afternoon or good evening, I suppose. Now, get the beers out, guys. Good luck to you, my friend. So, yeah, where was I? Oh, yeah, Leicester. Iheanacho is just looking fabulous. You can see the confidence that this player has. Now, fair enough, he missed a couple of chances, but every time he gets the ball, and this is why I like him more than Vardy, even if Iheanacho and Vardy are the same price, I still prefer Iheanacho. I know Vardy outscored Iheanacho last game week for the first time in a long time, let's be real. I know he outscored him, but Iheanacho is just, you know, shooting every time he is anywhere near the box. Absolutely fantastic. Constantly shooting, has this confidence to dribble past a player, take a player on, which he did. Creating a little bit as well, at least trying to. But most of all, just shooting so much. And that's what it's all about with your strikers. You want them to get goals because goals mean huge bonus points for strikers. Absolutely mad. Really, really nice to see. We've got an urgent message from Emiliana Riangia. Oi, Dan, this is urgent. Evans, Fofana, size target for the long term. Already have Cody and Donk at the moment. Don't think I'd double up on Wolves' defence, to be honest. Evans and Fofana. Interesting. I mean, target doesn't look like a bad shout, to be fair, because obviously he's got West Brom this game week. And, you know, the double game week coming up potentially as well. Do you potentially invest in Leicester's defence? They're good for another 3 games, Leicester's defence. But after that, the last 3 games of the season for Leicester do look pretty worrying, to be fair. So Leicester's defence is not going to be good for the final 3 games, but it's certainly good for the next 3. So, who's that leave? That kind of leaves Target, really. So, in that regard, go for Target or go for Fofana. I do think Fofana is just a cheap version of Evans. I know Evans got the goal last game week, but that's the first goal he scored in a very long time. So don't expect goals every game week from Evans. I would stick with Fofana. Fofana is nailed on. I know he got taken off at half-time. Not half-time, but it's about 60 minutes last night as well, didn't he? Because he is observing Ramadan, of course. So there's that. I would probably say, out of those guys that you suggested, Emiliana, I would maybe go for Target. But maybe consider Fofana if you're happy just for 3 games. That's kind of what I would be thinking. So there you go. But anyway, I'm kind of half considering one more transfer, take it to a -8, just go full send on it. But I'm not sure. Obviously, there are still 2 big problems in my squad. I mean, I absolutely love my team right now, by the way. I really do. That -4 has just sorted me out completely. I had a few worries about my wildcard team. I fixed it with a -4. And you can say, oh, maybe you shouldn't be taking a -4, you know, a couple of game weeks after your wildcard. But at the end of the day, I made a couple of mistakes on my wildcard, particularly in defence. I wasn't fully covered. And I've fixed the situation. And now, I've had green arrows since my wild card. I now have a much better team, a much better setup. It looks a lot nicer. So overall, yeah, not bad, not bad. It's gonna be an interesting one. Everyone's taking hits anyway. Hang on, give me 1 second, guys, because my beautiful fiance has left her mobile phone charger in this room, and she needs it. So let me go give it to her. Oh. Oh. Right, back. Taking the jumper off as well because it's boiling today. I don't know why it's so hot in my my room. But anyway, oh yeah, guys, I did forget to say we've got a few new emojis. Well, the main emoji, I think someone spotted already. Ethan Fernandez has already spotted it. So for members, you have now got the Kelechi Iheanacho emoji. There you go. So if you're a member or you want to become a member, feel free to use that Iheanacho emoji because he's an absolute hero and he, quite frankly, deserved one. He deserved an emoji for everything that he's been doing recently. So there you go. A few people have been talking about Vardy in the chat. Now, in my buy, sell, keep, avoid video, I did say avoid Vardy. I kind of changed my mind a little bit on that one. I wouldn't necessarily say Vardy is someone I'd want to buy necessarily right now. I'm not really interested in selling Kane. But I do appreciate that maybe Vardy can do something. I mean, for the first time in a while, Vardy last night kind of actually did prove that he has still got it in him when he gets the opportunity. I do still massively prefer Iheanacho. I would still prefer to keep Kane and transfer out Son over Kane for this game week just to keep Kane in the team, really. But no, Vardy I don't think is a terrible shout. I've changed my mind on that. I can only apologise for saying avoid Vardy because actually I don't think it's that much of an avoid. It's just I wouldn't go for him personally. But he could do fine. I think maybe that's maybe me after watching him last night, thinking, yes, he wasn't looking to me as good as Iheanacho. He did obviously score his one of his big chances, and he was happy to cross as well, potentially get an assist as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, I will retract the Vardy avoid. Regrettably, I'll swallow my pride and retract that. And say, if you got Vardy, if you want Vardy, why not? It's Crystal Palace, Leicester on great form, have full faith in them. Why not? Why not? Olivia says, I've had Ben White on the bench for the last 8 game weeks, ready for this week. And then he gets a red card in the last minute, feels bad. Damn. That's tough. That is tough, bro. David Jones, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. That is really, really appreciated, man. He says, have a beer on me, mate. Enjoyed listening to you over lockdown. You know what, bro? I'm so happy I could provide a little bit of light FPL entertainment over lockdown. Trust me, I've enjoyed making these videos, doing these streams just as much. Yeah, it's been an absolute fabulous experience, sort of a lockdown project for me, I suppose, this YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you so much. I will definitely take you up on that beer. Absolutely. I might even do it tonight after we're done with the stream. Might even spend the money on beer tonight. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tanmay is asked, what's your third transfer? So if I was to make a third transfer, it would be, well, there's 2 ways I could go with it, really. I think Cedric out is maybe the one, or maybe it's Sanchez. I mean, the thing is with Cedric, I feel like that's just fully in the mud. The thing is with Sanchez is that he will come in and out the team, and there's every chance that he actually starts against Sheffield United in Gameweek 34, in which case I might actually quite want him for that. The third transfer I would make would be Cedric to one of 2 players. The first player I would transfer Cedric out to is Veltman. So I've got that Brighton defensive cover against Sheffield United, which obviously you're pretty much guaranteed a clean sheet, maybe even a couple of bonus points. So you'd say that would be a progressive transfer. The other transfer is maybe to go for Ezri Konsa, who has a good fixture this game week against West Brom, who did look really, really flat last night. Quite worrying performance, actually. So Konsa would have that fixture this game week, and obviously has a guaranteed double game week between now and the end of the season, which is nice. Now, if I'm feeling very optimistic, I don't need to make another transfer because I've already got 11 players who will definitely play. The question is, will they definitely play? Because there has been a few circling footballing things, chat, talk, whatever you want to say, about, first of all, Jota. There was rumours he wasn't training. He wasn't in outdoor training yesterday. So there was kind of a few rumours. Okay, he's not been pictured training. Maybe he's been injured. They're kind of covering up the fact he's actually got an injury somewhere. Now, Jurgen Klopp came out in his press conference today and said he said that Jota was fine, but it wasn't a convincing answer. And that's my worry. My other worry is Rashford. Now, Rashford hasn't trained this week, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has convinced us that Rashford can, and he's convinced me anyway, that Rashford, despite not having, the full training experience, that he can play. He can still play this weekend with no real issue. So we've kind of got half answers on Rashford and Jota, if we're completely honest. And this is where I've landed, basically. I've landed is I don't need bench cover. The reason is not because I think Jota and Rashford are 100% ready to go, but my issue more is that Rashford and Jota, even if they aren't 100% ready to go, I have a feeling that in both instances they'll be at minimum well enough to start on the bench. And Rashford, Jota, these are two kind of players that when they're on the bench, they will come off the bench. These are not players that stay on the bench. So even if I did make sure I have one bench option that is nice to come in just in case one of my players doesn't start, Rashford, Jota coming off the bench for 1-pointers or whatever, they're going to block it anyway. So there's no point. A few people saying Jota is fine. Yes, Klopp has said Jota is fine, but unconvincing answers. Obviously, he said he was fine, but, he was hesitant to answer the question. It's kind of like, I don't know. There are some managers who just outright lie in their press conferences, right? I don't believe that Jurgen Klopp is one of those guys, but it wouldn't be the first time that kind of thing has happened. So maybe Jota is, maybe he's fine, maybe he's not 100%. I think he's definitely going to be fit enough to at least make the bench. Otherwise, I think Klopp would have said. But, when you say he's fine, unconvincingly, does that mean, okay, yeah, he probably can't play 90 minutes? Don't know. Don't have all the answers, guys. But I would say that Jota is at least capable of playing 30 minutes at the end of the game, right? So he's going to block any bench options anyway. So I'm just going to leave it as it is, to be honest. Rufus Royman says, is Greenwood a sure starter? No, not necessarily, but when he comes off the bench, he does the business too, so we don't mind about that. Same can be said with Jota. Some players, they will come off the bench every time they are benched, and they do have that capability to do something off the bench. And I believe Jota and Greenwood are both that kind of player. They've got a very strong record of coming off the bench and doing the business. Greenwood, I would say his position in this game is, I don't know. Is he definitely going to play? Is Cavani going to be saved for Europa League? Is Dan James going to come back? Dan James had a very good game against Leeds United in the reverse fixture. In the home game against Leeds, James played quite well, but Greenwood, I just don't. I feel like you can't. Can you drop Greenwood with the performances he's shown? When a player's playing this well, and especially when it's a young player, you want to keep that confidence going, don't you? Unless you're Pep Guardiola with Phil Foden. So there you go. Of course, says, hi Dan, I wonder what your rank is in the ESL. I mean, FPL Mate League. Very good. In the FPL Mate League, my rank is about 2000th, which is not bad. I think in the FPL Mate YouTube Community League, there's about 15,000 people-ish. Maybe 16,000 people now. So I'm about 2,000th in my own league, which is not bad considering you'd expect that most people in that league would be at least fairly enthusiastic about FPL, right? Of course, if you do want to join the FPL Mate League, The code is, hang on, I've got to get this right. It's far side over there. There's a league code there. Enter that in. Join the league. Join. Well, I'd say most of us here are probably in it already. Come compete with us, guys. Why not? See who wins. See how well you can do. We'll have a chat about the final league standings at the end of the season. Don't worry about that. We'll try and spot some of you in the league, maybe. See if any of you are making the top 100 in the FPL Mate League. I'm sure there's a few of you here. I know a few of you regulars have been in the higher echelons of the league in the past. I know our mod, Dan Cross, is having an absolute smashing season. Where are you at now, Dan Cross? You're doing quite well, aren't you? You into the top 10k? Michael Sowell says, I'm 16,000th. Oh, well. Did you start this week, maybe? Thomas Sheen, the Cocktail Fanatic. Hi, Dan. Hello, mate. I didn't spot you there. Pritchard said, Ike Nacho is captain. It's not a bad idea. Jack Anderson says, should I bring in Greenwood for Son or Dawson out? It depends what the rest of your team is. Can you field up? I mean, what's going to gain you more points? Going from Dawson to another 4.5 million-ish defender? Or is Greenwood going to get you more points? I guess you've got to think long-term as well, but Dawson is not out permanently, is he? So, and neither is Son, but you say, as long as you've got a plan of getting Son back in, because I do think that is a player you want to get back in for next game week. I mean, I'm kind of debating at the moment. So basically, next game week, I'm going to take Rashford out, and he's going to swap for either Son or Bale. If I'm feeling spicy, I might go for Bale, but we'll see. Dan Cross has just confirmed 7.9k. Yes, nice one, man. It's looking really good. Maybe you should be running the channel. 195th in the FPL Mate League. Well done, man. You got to get top 100 in the FPL Mate League. That's your challenge for the season, Dan. You can do it. FPL Guy says, what do you feel about a Wolves striker? Not really feeling it. Unless Jimenez comes back. I mean, to be fair, by the time Jimenez is back, we're going to be looking at some bad Wolves fixtures anyway. I'm not convinced by any. Some people will tell you differently. I know. I mean, we'll talk about Dan Cross again. He's got his eyes firmly on Adama Traore. I'm not seeing it personally. But, you know, different people have different opinions on that. He's not someone who everyone hates, so I guess that's a good sign. Moldy says, I'm 87k, only 18 points ahead of you. Oh, well, don't worry, Moldy, we'll catch you up. Give me 2 game weeks. We'll sort that out. Hopefully your team is still littered with Wolves players in a couple of game weeks, and we'll overtake you then. Joe Thurgus says, hi, Dan, Cody or Castan. Moldy's not going to like this, but I genuinely do think... that there is a chance that Wolves don't keep a clean sheet for the rest of the season. I really do. Whereas Castan, I think he's got so much in him. It's not just clean sheets either. It's the attacking potential. Carol Borowski says, best regards from 6th place. I'm not going to join. It would be unfair. Right, I am going to confirm that, Carol. If you're genuinely 6th place, I'm checking the overall ranks right now. Let's see. Because if you did join, that would be a bit unfair. Well, can't see your name. Unless it's not updated. Oh, no, there you go. It's updated. Wow. We got 6th place. 6th place in FPL is in the chat right now. That's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. I know there are a couple of other people sort of in the top 10 who do watch this channel occasionally. I've chatted to a few of them as well. It's just, yeah, congratulations to everyone. You know, if you're that high ranked, then that is just fantastic, isn't it? It really is fantastic. Sky, thank you very much for joining the channel as a member. Really appreciate the support, and please do feel free to spam as many of the amazing emojis that we've got available to you. You know what would be quite cool? Maybe at some point, maybe at the end of the season, maybe see if we can get some top 10 managers on the channel. So if we can have a chat just to get in their heads. How have they managed that? I know obviously, you know, sometimes you don't necessarily see it coming, and you do ride the wave of a little bit of luck. But you've got to have some method to the madness, right? Carol says, he is because of you and your tips. Carol, I would love to believe you, but if it was because of me and my tips, I would probably not be ranked 125k, because this is not a fantastic season for me. If I'm completely honest, I'm not in a position I'd like to be. Let's just put it that way. So you can take all the plaudits for yourself. You're smashing it. Well done. Well done. Keep an eye out for some member chats as well. Olivia says Captain Fernandez, tier AA, or Iheanacho. Out of those three, I genuinely do prefer Iheanacho. I genuinely do prefer him. Bruno Fernandes is just not really doing it for me. He's not shooting enough. You know, this has happened before when he's playing alongside Pogba in particular. Then he's not playing as much of an important creative role. He's kind of, you know, they slot alongside each other in many respects. And I'm not saying Bruno Fernandes is a bad pick, because I don't think he is. He's clearly a fantastic player, but his points have always depended on his big point scores have always kind of depended on those penalties. And he's not getting as many penalties recently. Manchester United haven't had any penalties in a while, so it's kind of been a little bit more difficult for him to pick up points. So I wouldn't want to bet on Manchester United penalties. You know, you never really want to bet on penalties, to be fair. They're a nice bonus, usually. Where Iheanacho doesn't need penalties, he's just in good form. He's just in fantastic form. So I'm loving Iheanacho right now. Absolutely all about that. Brooke Mensa says, dude, if you followed your own advice as early as other people do, you'd be there too. Maybe. Yeah, certainly at the beginning of the season, I was very hesitant. I was playing very safe and not willing to take risks, because basically I was scared of being embarrassed in front of a brand new audience, because I'd never done FPL YouTube before. I've never had an audience before doing FPL stuff. I was just so concerned about doing things the right way and the sensible way and the safe way that I kind of forgot what actually worked for me in the past. Now, since then, I've gone from 600,000th in the world to 125,000th in the world, and that's in the space of about 11, 12 game weeks. Could be better, but you know, there's a really decent improvement. So I'm hoping if I can do what I'm doing right now for the entirety of next season, that's the top 10k finish. Every single game week I outscore the top 10k. The average score for the top 10k, or you know, 9 out of 10 game weeks I'll outscore it. So in theory, it should be fine next season. It just had such an awful start and came at FPL with the wrong mentality. But we'll go again. And, you know, we can still finish top 100k, which is definitely not a disaster. Tan May with a super chat. Thank you very much, man. Son and Kane out for Bruno and Vardy in reversal next week, -4. Not sure about that. Not sure if I want to take a -4 and then do another -4 for the reversal. That seems... because you're taking a -8. So you basically need either Bruno or Vardy to outscore... well, yeah, you need the worst player of the two to outscore... well, just score 8 or more points. And I wouldn't go in convinced that Bruno is definitely going to score more than 8 points. So Vardy in for Kane? I've not got a problem with that, to be fair. Vardy is obviously going to outscore Kane, and then just reverse that next week. You not take any minuses. Tan May, I would do that. Or, you know, unless you can go Son to someone you really like the look of, maybe Salah or someone like that. I don't know. Unless you've got someone you can do Son for. Vardy to... even Iheanacho, Vardy to anyone. You know, that could be quite nice. Bruno to... Kane to Vardy, or Kane to Iheanacho. Someone like that. Those are the two strikers I'd want this game week for sure. So, yeah, Iheanacho and Vardy... for this game week alone is probably the best two. A few people have been asking about Kane. He is the Spurs' opinion is that he probably plays in the League Cup, which I don't know if is a great idea. He will be rushed back for the League Cup if he does play in the League Cup. But you know, after that, he's going to be fine. I really do think he's going to be fine for game week 34. So he is worth keeping. Don't panic transfer. Okay, now, don't go for the Dorito effect and worry about that. Will Vidra play? A few people asking about Vidra as well. I think Vidra will play. So Vidra was dropped last game. He didn't start last game against Manchester United. Mostly because I think Sean Dyche just wanted to set up his Burnley team a little bit differently. Go for a 5-man midfield, play a bit more defensively, essentially. Pack the midfield with those central midfielders, which meant that a striker had to drop out. So, I mean, as a lone striker, who you're going to play, Wood or Vidra? Wood is probably the one you're going to go for in a formation like that. I do think back against Wolves, a slightly easier fixture, a fixture that they probably think they can win. And they wouldn't mind a win either. A win would go down quite nicely for Burnley because they are still kind of on the edge of potentially getting relegated. A few points will mean the world to Burnley. So they might attack the fixture a little bit more. Vidra and Wood up front has been working really well. Vidra is on top form. I think he starts. I'm pretty sure he starts. And honestly, I think he's kind of one of the better strikers to have. He's not the best. He's probably not in the top 5 strikers I want in my team. But if money was no issue, Vidra's probably maybe the 6th or 7th best forward. Genuinely, he really is. You know, when you look at underlying stats, recent performances, recent scores, he's doing well. He's doing really well for himself. Drew says, is Bowen a good option? I think Bowen is a good option. It's just I wouldn't be transferring him in for this game week because I don't think he's going to score against Chelsea. But after that, yeah, maybe. Uzi Automatic says, my second season and I'm at 100k from last season's 2 million. You did the Lord's work this season. Well, I'm glad I can help you out, Uzi. I know you've been around like right from the start of the season, haven't you? Watching the streams and stuff. I do keep an eye on the names who are, regulars and stuff like that. So I do appreciate that, dude. And Badri here says, hi Dan, Vardy captain over Salah and Iheanacho at my rank, 9 points above you. I would just go for Salah. And the reason I'm going for Salah, and I don't usually like to go for a boring captain, and I do think Salah is the boring, sensible captain for the game week. But usually the boring captain is Bruno Fernandes or Harry Kane, who are sort of at 90% ownership in the top 100k anyway. So they're already boring before you captain them. And then everyone captains them as well. And it's like you don't really gain from captaining them. Salah is actually, I'm not exactly sure what will be for your individual respective ranks, but he's sort of only like 40, 50, maybe 60% owned, depending on where you are. He's not actually massively owned. So worst case scenario, you're still going to gain a lot of points from Salah scoring and assisting. And he's still not a differential. Definitely not a differential. But he's enough of a differential that he can make the difference in your scores, in your rank boosts, and stuff like that. So yeah, I do think Salah can do it. Brooke Menzies says, talk me out of captaining Trent Alexander-Arnold over Salah, please. First season of FPL, trying to win my mini league. Only 9 points away from first. Got to make moves. Well, the question is, and this is another very good point. Are you just picking Alexander-Arnold to be different? Or do you genuinely believe that he will outscore Salah? Because if Alexander-Arnold scores 9 points, you'll be saying, yes, fantastic, my captain scores 9 points, right? If Salah also scores 9 points, then you may as well have just captained Salah. Who is more likely to get those 9 points? Who is more likely to get the 10 points or more? Who do you genuinely think is more likely to score more points out of 2 players? And that is how you should pick every single one of your captains. Now, a couple of my captains have been a bit differential. For example, one week I went for Rafinha over Kane. I didn't go for Rafinha to be differential. I went for Rafinha because I genuinely thought he could have a better score than Harry Kane on that game week. And that's kind of how you have to look at it. So, do you really think, Brooke Mensa, do you really think that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to outscore Salah? If you do, then captain him. If you don't, then stick with Salah. Stick with Salah. Deep Kundu here with the super chat. Which Arsenal attackers do you prefer? None, if I'm completely honest. I'll go through them very quickly if you like. And I'll show you, I'll pretty much explain why. Because you're going to be looking at, Saka and Martinelli and Emil Smith-Rowe. That's who you're probably looking at, right? Maybe you're looking at Saka. Saka is okay. But he's not in very good form. Even when he has been playing. Not in very good form. No goals, no assists for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So don't expect very much there. We can go to Pepe. Inconsistent starts. When he does play, he occasionally gets a couple of points, but nothing special. Who else would you look at? Willian. Don't look at Willian. Smith Rowe. Yeah, he probably plays this game week. But when Odegaard is fit, Smith Rowe drops out of the team, so he won't be an option. Staying with Martinelli, when Aubameyang's back, Martinelli's dropped. When Lacazette's back, then suddenly we've got Nketiah dropped. So overall, all of the ones available right now are super rotation risk. Lacazette is looking good-ish, pretty good, but he's not fit. Other than that, and this is as an Arsenal fan as well, I really would not be terribly interested in Arsenal's attack right now. We've got so many injuries. There you go. Badri says, but Crystal Palace are worse than Newcastle. Well, what are we talking about? How well Salah's performed against against Crystal Palace? Is that what you're referring to? I can't remember what the score was last time they played. It was ages ago. Oh, 16 points. Well, yeah. But no, that's not really the point. It's not just about who's the easier fixture. And I do agree that Crystal Palace are worse than Newcastle. But you also got to look at the attacker. Who's a better attacker? Salah or Iheanacho? Well, I mean, unless, of course, you think that Iheanacho is a better... I mean, that exactly goes back to the same conversation. Do you genuinely believe that Iheanacho is going to score more points than Salah? If so, you found your answer, right? Let me catch up with a couple of member chats here. Greenwood or Rashford, mate, keep it up. I would go for Greenwood. Of course, there's Salah is on penalties, so captain. Yeah, that's another great thing. Sky says Iheanacho captain for me. I don't think that's a bad shout at all. Adam Pearce says new Maverick plan. Rotate between Bruno and Son over the next few game weeks. As good fixtures, potential doubles and blanks and line up perfectly. Thoughts? I don't know. I'll probably just stick with Son if I'm perfectly honest. Son has some pretty consistently good fixtures, so I would use your transfers elsewhere and rotate elsewhere, to be honest, and just stick with Son. I call me controversial. I know 90% of you guys will have Bruno. I just personally do not think he's essential. I mean, he's nice to have. He covers your points, but I mean, I've taken a risk and not put him in my wildcard team. So far, so good, and I'm not regretting it so far. There's nothing that's worried me too much, so absolutely fine. I will come to that super chat. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to keep going with the chats. Jack Anderson says, oh, yeah, it's the same message again. Harry Price says, hey, Dan, good captain options. Salah, Iheanacho, Vardy, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'd possibly leave it there. You could maybe go for a Manchester United attacker, but I would be far from convinced by that. So, right, super chat. John Birmingham, thank you very much, my friend. Top 50k all season going for broke. Creswell, Gundogan, Phillips out. Interesting. Trent Alexander-Arnold, size. Greenwood in. Ooh, Greenwood, good differential captain, maybe. Mane's selfishness, not good. Yeah, I think now Mane's got his goal, I think the selfishness will end. I think Mane was kind of really desperate for a goal. He just wanted to break his duck, as the phrase goes. So I don't know if he's... typically, he's not been that much of a selfish player in his career. Quite an unselfish player, to be fair. So I don't think his selfishness carries on. I just think he really wanted a goal. Now he's got it. Maybe he chills out a bit, kind of thing. But yeah, Creswell out, completely understandable. Gundogan out, completely understandable. Phillips out, completely understandable. Alexander-Arnold, Greenwood, love it. Sice, I'm still not fully convinced. I don't... How many clean sheets are Wolves going to keep between now and the end of the season? Yes, they've got clean sheets against Fulham and Sheffield United. But Fulham and Sheffield United... Was it Fulham? Probably. Yeah, I think it was. I can't bother to check. But, those are the two worst attacks in the entire league. Fair enough. Couple of clean sheets against the worst attacks in the entire league. I don't think Wolves are a bad defence. But they've got, 2 or 3 more okay games. After that, don't know. Maybe you go for size. I've always kind of preferred Leicester's chances of clean sheets over this run. I really have. But, yeah. Take your pick. Take your picky pick. But, yeah. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Greenwood, love it. Absolutely love it. Same 2 players I brought in this week. Jabril Hussein has said, got Kane, Son, Reguilon, Phillips, and F Silva. Who is F Silva? And 2 free transfers, that's the thing. F Silva. Have I lost the plot? Fernando Silva? I do want to help you out, Jabril, but I can't think of who F Silva is. I don't know. In terms of, Phillips, maybe could go. I've got 2 free transfers there. I mean, what you could just do is, assuming your bench can cover you a little bit, do the same thing as I did. The exact same 2 transfers I did, which I'm really happy with. And that's Son and Phillips out. And Trent Alexander-Arnold and Greenwood in. And then Fabio Silva. Oh, Fabio Silva for Wolves. Oh, yeah. No, he's not a great player to have, is he? I can't believe I didn't think of that. Yeah. You can tell I don't like Wolves. So, yeah. The thing is, if you're taking out Son, you are going to want him back. Which is the stipulation there, right? Chat absolutely lighting up with calls of Fabio Silva. I'm glad you guys are paying attention. Yeah, the problem is, if you're taking Son out, I would want a route to get him back. But at the same time, how do you do that? How do you do that? Maybe you've got Bruno Fernandes in your team. If you've got Bruno Fernandes in your team, do Son and Phillips to Greenwood and Trent Alexander-Arnold this week. And then next week, you can take Bruno Fernandes out. He's got a difficult fixture against Liverpool. Fixtures are kind of okay after that. And then bring in Son for Bruno. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. You could even go for Bale if you wanted to switch it up, you know? So have a think about it. Neil says, must have players if you're wildcarding. My personal... Oh, I need to show my team for the next game week, don't I? Or for this game week, I should say. My must-have players, in my opinion, and there are some, are Alexander-Arnold, Greenwood, Salah, Iheanacho, and just get Kane and stick him on your bench, or have a plan to get Kane in, or have a plan to get Son in and just or stick him on your bench. Have a plan to get Spurs players in. I'll probably keep at least one of either Kane or Son on your bench this week, and then with the idea to bring him in next game week. But yeah, mostly Alexander-Arnold, Lingard, Salah, Greenwood, Iheanacho. Those I would say were the big ones that you absolutely must have. After that, maybe there's some argument to say Castan would be a nice player to have. I don't know. Jota, he's okay. Shaw's okay. Vidra's a nice bench option to have. Handy in situations like this. Goalkeeper's a bit up in the air. Not sure who I'd go for a goalkeeper this game week, to be honest. Not really sure if I was to choose right now. Jack Anderson says, mate, Arsenal can be relegated for ESL. Talks about minus 20 points for all teams involved. Yeah, I've seen rumours of minus 20 points, but I'll believe it when I see it. I think it's just chat, to be honest. Emiliana says target or Konsa. I would just stick with Konsa. If in terms of Aston Villa defenders, I'd just stick with Konsa. Target's not exactly a particularly creative fullback. Occasionally he'll create something, but no more often than Konsa will get a goal from a corner. Is Greenwood genuinely essential? Okay, maybe essential is the wrong word, but he would be one of the first players I would put into a wildcard team, right? I don't know. Obviously, that's not the definition of essential. No player's essential, really. Other than Iheanacho and Lingard, who are essential, and I won't have any other arguments. Yeah, other than that, you can choose, can't you? Some people don't want Salah, some people prefer Jota. Some people instead have got Alexander-Arnold, they've got Phillips. Covers it to a degree. But if you're making the most of your money elsewhere, it's not bad. I would be worrying if Arsenal did get relegated, though, wouldn't it? Deep Kundu says, what are your plans with Man City players? I don't have any Man City players. I don't intend on getting any in. If I did have Man City players, I would be transferring them out this very game week. They'd be gone. No regrets. Just because there's so much rotation. It's not what you need. At the tail end of the season, you want to start picking play because there is going to be a lot of rotation for other teams as well. So the last thing you want is a team full of players that are worrying you with rotation and stuff. So just get them out and go with players that you know are actually going to play. Like, no one's safe at Man City. No one at all. "12 minutes to go." Yeah, well, we're getting close, aren't we? Robbie Nugent says, I've wildcarded best goalkeeper. Who you got then? Because I don't know who would be the number one goalkeeper pick right now, if I'm honest. Fair enough, I've not looked into it. But I don't know. Man DX says, Vardy or Iheanacho best captain. I do still genuinely prefer Iheanacho. I really do. Captain, sell Rafinha. Yeah, Rafinha's not going to play this game week, unfortunately, for those of you who still have Rafinha in your team. Another channel legend, isn't he? An FPL mate legend. Welbeck to Iheanacho for a -4 or wait next week. Welbeck actually could do okay. He's got a game against Sheffield United. He actually could do okay this game week. Genuinely. Bruno or Iheanacho captain, a few people are saying. Yeah, I prefer Iheanacho. I really do. Bruno's kind of looked off it. He's not been doing as much as he has done in the past. That combined with penalties drying up. Just stick with it. What about Rodriguez or Sigurdsson? Rodriguez looks okay. Sigurdsson is pretty good, but a little bit of a rotation risk, isn't he? Would you give Jack Harrison a chance against United? Never say never. Never say never. I do think he has a chance of getting something out of that game. But you know, you wouldn't bet your mortgage on it, would you? Thoughts on Danny Ings for potential double game week? He doesn't have. There is no potential double game week for. Well, there's no missing fixture for Southampton. I think. Or is there? Is it Southampton and Everton? No, it's Everton and Aston Villa who've got the missing fixtures. Of course, there's quickfire questions. Yeah, we'll do those. 5 minutes to deadline. We'll do quickfire. Don't worry about that. Thoughts on Aston Villa's defenders captain? No, I don't think so. Don't think so. DCL for Laka, good move. Well, they're both injured, so unless I've missed something and DCL's back, I don't think he is though, is he? Let's check here. Oh no, he is back. Oh, he's back. There you go. Woo! Congratulations. I don't know. I still don't know if I'd be going all in on an Everton ahead of this game or next game. Maybe after that, you know, game week 35 onwards, particularly if there's a double game week there, Calvert-Lewin could be a touch, to be fair. But would I be bothered about having Dominic Calvert-Lewin against Arsenal and Aston Villa? Probably not. Just go for Iheanacho. I'm going to the wrong page again. All roads lead to Iheanacho. If you need a striker, just get him. I can't believe there's still people out there who don't have him still. Good to see DCL's back, though. Holding, Vidra, or as Peter bench? Probably bench Holding out of those three. Cheapest player for a reason, you know. Carl Marius Shoyan says, what defenders do you think is worth looking at for the rest of the season? For the rest of the season, it's kind of difficult. If you want a player who is just going to serve you well week in, week out, then look no further than Trent Alexander-Arnold. If you can't afford Trent Alexander-Arnold, then Nat Phillips after next game week probably, you know, is a safe bet. Liverpool defenders just stick in for the rest of the season kind of thing. Luke Shaw is another player you could just stick in your team and just have him in your team for the rest of the season. Aside from that, there is no season keepers. You've got Castan, who's got brilliant next 3 games, then it's terrible 3 games after that. You've got, Wolves defenders, very good fixes in the immediate term, pretty bad after that. So, in terms of season keepers, there's not really many. And you might need to find yourself rotating defenders a little bit as we get to the end of the season, which is not a bad tactic. I can't really give you a season keeper defender other than Alexander-Arnold and Luke Shaw are the 2 players I would say, yeah, I'm just going to keep them for the rest of the season. And I'll rotate the rest. That's my plan anyway. Fofana is a good defender for the rest of the season. Well, you could say that, but he's not. Look at Leicester's next 3 fixtures compared to the last 3. So Crystal Palace, great. Southampton, great. Newcastle, great. Then Manchester United, Chelsea and Spurs. Now, Leicester aren't a bad defensive team. But Fofana, who offers no attacking threat whatsoever, would you really be convinced by him for the last 3 games? I mean, they could be 3 one-point games for him. Would you go Castan over Trent for now and then switch to Trent in 36? That is an option. That is an option for sure. Honestly, though, no. I would prefer to have Trent Alexander-Arnold and just stick with him if I had a choice between the 2. Luckily, I can have them both. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Transferring in Bruno or Rashford worth it at the moment? Not sure. I mean, Greenwood, absolutely. Bruno's just so expensive and he's just not providing value for money at all right now. Let's just have to think about the FA Cup too. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. Dan, when are you going to do watch-alongs? When I have the right computer for the job, really, and the right setup. I'm still, until I move house, which is looking more likely to happen. I know the last house fell through for the 2nd time. Absolute nightmare. But we found a new place, and hopefully we'll be moved in there within the next, month or 2 months. And yeah, I'll have a bigger place because I'm still just in the corner of my bedroom at the moment, and there's just not enough room to have a proper setup, multiple screens, or I can afford a nice PC, but the money has to be prioritised for the house move. So it'll happen when it happens, but it's not going to be in the immediate future. But yeah. Owen says exactly what you want to hear when you transfer in Fofana 15 minutes ago. Fofana is great for 3 game weeks. It's just you have to be aware that Leicester's fixtures swing in game week 36. Gundo to Saka, says Elizabeth. Not sure. Yeah. Saka's another player who is a fantastic player, and I absolutely love him, but as an FPL asset, he's not really done enough for me to convince me. There's so many other, midfielders that I just prefer, pretty much. Watch along content I need. Yeah, we'll sort it out at some point. Right, guys, let's do quickfire. Quickfire questions. Put your questions in the store. I need a counter upper as well, guys. I need a counter upper in the chat. One of you's got to count these. Questions. How many I answer. I'm going to answer 100 questions within the final 5 minutes. I want you to put them in as short questions as you can possibly write. Keep them as simple as possible. This or that, 1 or 2, A or B. Really, really simple. Should I captain such and such? Really, really simple questions. I'm going to answer 100 of them. If the question is more than a sentence, I ain't reading it because I'm going to do 100 questions. Right. I don't know who's counting, but I'm sure a few of you will. Right. I'm starting now. Right. Will Rashford play? I think there's a 50-50 chance of Rashford playing. If he doesn't play, I think he will come off the bench. Gundo to Trossard. Yes, that could be a nice 1 week punt, but no more than that. Start Dallas or Sofao. I would probably start Dallas just because of the attacking potential. Maddison or Greenwood. I do prefer Greenwood out of those two. Who do you bring in for Gundogan? Well, it depends who you can afford. Bowen is quite nice for the rest of the season, but not great for this game week. Vidra or Digne. I think I would prefer Vidra just to back the attacker. Captain Vardy or Bruno. I think I prefer Vardy, but if you have Iheanacho, go for him. him. Greenwood or Maddis, I would go for Greenwood. Rudiger or Vidra, I would probably go for Rudiger this game week, to be honest. And then, you know, Vidra on the bench if things don't go to plan. Trent for captain, I think he is a potential captain option. DCL or Cavani, DCL is actually not a bad option. How are you? I'm pretty good. Watkins for a -4, maybe, depends if you can play a full 11 or not. Watkins captain, no, I don't think so. Dendonka, no, absolutely not. Cavani or Bruno, I do prefer Bruno still over Cavani, I think. Chicken or beef? Chicken, because I don't eat beef. Should I transfer in Greenwood for Jota? No, just keep it as it is for now. Rashford or Greenwood? Still prefer Greenwood. Sell Diaz and Rafinha and buy Greenwood. Yeah, go for it. Captain Trent Alexander-Arnold or Iheanacho? Either one, both are good. I think I prefer Iheanacho though. What about Jota? I think he's going to be fine. I think he's a fine option. I'm not 100% obviously, but I think he's going to be fine and he's going to play. Captain Nacho instead of Salah, it's an option, but don't definitely do it. Captain Iheanacho or Jota, I would prefer Iheanacho out of those two. Rudiger or Azpilicueta? Azpilicueta is still the better option. Rudiger or Lingard, I would still prefer... I prefer Lingard in all games, to be fair, so... yeah, maybe go for him, but don't bet on it too much. Sanchez or Martinez? I think for this game week, you've got to go for Sanchez. Daddy or Chips? What? I guess Chips. Captain Salah or Iheanacho? Take your pick. Salah's probably the better option. Greenwood in for Son? Yes, very nice. Trossard or Harrison? I prefer Trossard for this game week anyway. Rashford replacement? Don't worry, just keep him in your team. Jota or Greenwood? I do prefer Greenwood. Prime Salah or Prime Aguero? Oh, Prime Aguero for me, just for those moments. Vardy or Trent as captain? I think I prefer Trent to Vardy, to be fair. Keep Wolves keeper? Yes, absolutely. Iheanacho to Bamford. I have Vardy and Castan. Yeah, I would rather have Iheanacho than Bamford for sure right now. Bring in Greenwood for Mount. No, keep it as it is. Vidra or Phillips. Vidra, because Phillips is not going to play this game week. Iheanacho or Bruno captain. I prefer Iheanacho. Lingard or Dianya. Go for Lingard. You think Salah is fasting? Yeah, I think he is, but he's been doing it for years and it's not been an issue. Beer or wine? Definitely beer for me. Martinez or Mendy? I think this game week is kind of a tough one. Maybe go for Martinez. Captain Bruno or Iheanacho? Go for Iheanacho. Watkins captain, no. Celtic or Rangers? I think I prefer Rangers, to be fair. Captain Vardy or Iheanacho? I prefer Iheanacho still. Diaz replacements? Pick any defender in the world. Anyone's better at that rotation risk. Alonso or Wood? Go for Alonso. If he gets benched, then you've got Wood come off the bench, I guess. Greenwood or Trent Alexander-Arnold for a -8. Depends who you're taking out. Depends if you can find a full team. Blur or Oasis? I would go for Oasis. Lingard or Vidra? Play Lingard. Back your boy. Sigurdsson? Yeah, not a bad option. Phillips or Trent Alexander-Arnold? Yes, if you can do that, go for it. Holding or Alonso? Play Alonso. If he doesn't play, Holding can come off the bench. Bamford to Watkins for a -4. I don't know. No, I would just keep with Bamford, I think. Kane to Vardy for a -8, absolutely not. Bruno and Phillips for Greenwood and Trent. Yes, I do quite like that, to be fair. Trossard or Harrison? Trossard good for this week. Harrison good for future weeks. Captain Salah or Iheanacho? Take your pick. Man United, Ronaldo or LFC Suarez? LFC Suarez, I think. Who will win the UCL? I don't know. How come you don't eat beef? Because it's bad for the environment to support the beef industry, but we'll leave that. Tory or Labour? Beer or wine? Beer. Sanchez or Martinez? Go for Sanchez this game week. Fish or chicken? I'll go for chicken. Maddison or Vardy? Go for Vardy. Captain Trent Alexander-Arnold or Bruno? I'll go for Trent Alexander-Arnold. How are we doing for time? Messi or Morpay? Definitely Morpay in that regard. 100%. Keep those questions in, guys. With time yet? No, not quite. Dallas is a season keeper defender. Yeah, I guess you'd say he is. Dunk or James? Chelsea. I'd go for Dunk for this game week for sure, and maybe in the future as well. And no one's asking any more questions unless I'm lagging. Rafinha out, Greenwood in. Yes, absolutely do that. That's a good one. Maddison or Greenwood? I prefer Greenwood. COVID or Super League? Oh, I prefer Super League to COVID. Come on. Pink or brown? God's sake. Captain Trent, Salah, Greenwood. Too many options. Go for Salah. Phillips or Dallas? Go for Dallas. Top bins or bottom corner? Top bins every time. Top bins. Start so far, Holding or Rudiger? Go for Rudiger, to be fair. Maybe Holding, but not so far. Thomas Soucek, keep or sell? Keep him. Why not? And that's time. I don't know how well I did. I don't know. I don't know. I think that was about 85. But I might be being generous to myself with 85. It definitely wasn't my best performance. But But the question is, was it my worst? I think last game week, we didn't hit it. It was about 95. But I had a slightly bad throat. So that was kind of an excuse. I don't know. Anyone got an answer? How many questions answers was that? 65 or 79. Yikes. We didn't do 100. 65. Oh no. 98. No, it weren't 98. 65 is believable. Yeah, just wasn't fully on it. Thomas Sheen's usually fairly accurate. He says 79. Well, someone says 80 there as well. All right, we'll call it 79, and not, it's not my worst. It's my second worst ever, actually. But that's still a lot of questions. Oh well. Oh well. Right, guys, we're all locked in, aren't we? We're all locked in. Hopefully you all made your transfers in time. Don't need that. Don't need that. Oh, well, unless you want to follow me on Twitter. Guys, I am painfully close. Well, not painfully close. I need to get 10,000 followers on Twitter. I don't know when it's going to happen. It seems to be 9,800 for ages. If you just want to bung us a follow, even if you never look at Twitter again, I'd appreciate it. At FPL mate, of course. Guys, I suppose the question to ask is you car fast says story time of FPL mate. I don't know if I've got a sort of story for this game week, to be fair. I don't know. One question took too much time to answer. I know. Oh, I'm sweating. I'm not going to stay on for too long because it's like boiling hot and I've got like windows closed. I'm shut in a tiny room. I've got a massive light shining on me and it's just boiling. I'm sweating. I'm going to dehydrate as soon as I finish my blackcurrant squash. So we'll finish the blackcurrant squash. We'll chat for a little bit longer. And then we'll call it. Right. Captains, guys. Who did you captain? Put in the chat. One word only. Who did you captain for game week 33? I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of Salahs, a lot of Iheanachos. I'd like to see it. So I'm going to stare at the chat until I start seeing those players flooded in. And then we'll have a little chit-chat and then I'll go off. Salah, Salah, Salah. Salah. Iheanacho, nice. Few differentials. Bruno. Greenwood. Differential, nice. Bruno, Salah, Lingard. Don't know about that one. Lots of Salahs, lots of Iheanachos, few Brunos, few Vardys. But it seems like, you know, and I would tend to agree with this. Salah and Iheanacho stand out to me as the two main picks. So it's not entirely surprising that those are the two most popular captains, according to the chat. I think there's a couple of people following. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, Kelechi and Mo Salah. Love it. Greenwood, not confident, all on you. I'm not captaining Greenwood, that's on you, bro. Watkins, Jack Anderson claims he accidentally captained Connor Cody, so that's a big F. Sky said, I don't even have Salah, kind of worried, not going to lie. Yeah, not everyone does. Not everyone does, and a lot of people who don't have Salah, you know, it's only like half of the people have Salah. It's not that much, unless you're like right at the top, in which case most people will probably have Salah. Someone said Noble, yeah, they did, but it was probably a lie. How long does the FPL take to update? Yeah, we're talking an hour. Yeah, half an hour, between half an hour and an hour's time, it will be updated, and we can all. One of my favourite times of the week is making my team ready for the following game week. To be fair. Adar says, love your content. Thank you very much, bro. Really appreciate that. Jack Anderson, we'll all be hoping for a Cody goal and clean sheet for you. Gold Piece Prosperity says, ask how many hits. Ah. Okay. Right, guys. Next, throw in the chat. How many hits did you take? So put like either 0 if you took no hits. Put in the chat -4 if you took a -4. Put -8 if you took a -8, etc, etc, etc. And let's see how many hits everyone took. I took a -4. I imagine a lot of people, to be fair, probably took a -4. A lot of people. It's going to be a popular week for hits. And those people who haven't taken hits might not even be able to field a full 11. So, a few zeros to start us off. A couple of -4s, -8s here. Oh, they're all popping off, guys. -12s there. Don't think anyone can beat a -12 unless they're a liar. So, yeah, although there is a lot of zeros in the chat there is enough -4s and -8s to balance it. Whereas you might say the average amount of minus going into this game week might be around 2 or 3. So if you've taken a minus, I really wouldn't worry too much. I think, yeah, you can tell by the chat right now, right? A lot of people have taken minuses, so it's not a big deal. Dan Cross says 0. What's a hit? Fair enough, bro. You're clearly much more organised than all of us. Mogi says 0 hits but 8 transfers. Oh yeah, there's wildcarders as well. Yeah, loads of people taking minuses. It's no big deal. Sanil says no hits but still have 11. Yeah, but do you have a bench option just in case? I mean, it's all well and good having. I mean, I'm not even convinced that I'll have 11 players in this game. When we start taking, like Nat Phillips into account, he's not going to start. Well, probably 99% sure he's not going to start. So that's, a player lost there. There'll be other missing players. Chelsea players are getting rotated like crazy at the moment. So a full 11 is not always a full 11 when there are certain rotation-averse players in there, and there are some. There you go, guys. We'll stop talking about hits now, but there you go. I mean, I don't know about any of you guys, but that certainly made me feel a little bit better about the -4 that I've taken. I mean, I knew it was going to be a big week for hits. I did know it already. Because, it's just understandable. When everyone's got Spurs and Man City players and maybe Southampton players, you never know. And we've had injuries. We've had, people panic selling Jota and Rashford, and people selling Phillips, and people desperate to get Trent Alexander-Arnold in their team. Me being that person. People wanting a new captain. Do you want to captain Iheanacho or Vardy or Salah? You got to bring them in. So it's kind of like, it makes sense that there would be a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people taking hits. Adam L. Adawi says, are you the next PewDiePie or Mr. Beast? I love you. Thank you very much, bro. I don't think we'll ever... No, I'm definitely not that. There's not enough people playing FPL to support an audience of that size, is there? But, maybe 100,000 subscribers this time next year. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be the dream. Dan Cross says, oh yeah. Dan Cross had 2 free transfers. Okay, fair enough. But you've still been organised to have those. Adam Pierce says, got a dip. I'm moving next week, so I'll miss my favourite part of the week. That's stream before deadline. Have a great game week, both this and next week. Well, good luck with the house move, Adam Pierce. I'm sure you'll smash it and be moved in no time, and you'll be settled down in your new home. Good luck. Hope it's a nice one. And I'll see you the week after. Dan says, a hit would have been taken if I had one. Well, yeah, there you go. Fernando says, Captain Iheanacho last second. Don't even know if it confirmed. Well, who did you have it on before? That's the question. Because if it's someone not very good, then you should be worried. But if it's like Salah you had on before anyway, then it's kind of like, yeah, if it ends up on Salah, it's not the end of the world, is it really? Leeds defence getting better. Well, I mean, better from where they were before is not saying much, is it? Lots of people off now. Got to go. Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for joining. Really, really happy to have you guys here. Always an absolute pleasure talking to you guys, as you know. Always an absolute pleasure. Why don't you branch it out into hot tub streams? Somehow I don't think so. Of course, says, when you go full-time YouTube, will you be doing other content away from FPL? I'll support that too. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'll probably do it. I mean, I thought about doing a podcast, maybe. Or maybe doing like a separate, like streaming video games or something like that. We'll see. I'm leaving it open. Certainly at the start, I'm just going to be doing FPL stuff, and then we'll start branching out to other stuff. I do want to do some merch or something like that. Not necessarily FPL mate merch, but some FPL t-shirts and hats and stuff like that, phone cases, because I kind of would quite like. I'd like to have that, so maybe other people would as well. We'll think about that. That's going to be in the summer, and I'm hopefully, I don't want to reveal too much yet, but I am potentially going to be working with another fantasy related platform. FPL related platform, so like a website, and maybe helping them with some content on their channel as well. But we'll not 100% sure if that's going to happen or not, but it's looking positive. So yeah, you'll be able to join me over there as well, not just on this channel. Could be cool. Tom Machine says, we're lucky to have you. Watch you for FPL advice almost every day. Keep it up, bro. Absolutely, we'll keep it up. Keep it up. Luke Price says, I would fully listen to a podcast. Not a fan of any other current FPL pods. I don't really listen to them, to be honest. So, yeah. I don't know what really... Well, I've listened to a few, like, bits and bobs, but I'd like to do, like, a video podcast type thing, because I think that's a lot better. It just depends what I can arrange and who I could do that podcast with. I think... I've got loads of plans, basically. I want to get some other YouTubers from outside of FPL community, the FPL YouTube, like FIFA YouTubers and stuff like that. Get them involved with either streams or videos and stuff like that, and just kind of get, because there's a lot of YouTube channels and content out there that is all serious FPL. I have always liked the idea of exploring a much more, not necessarily casual, because we still obviously want to do well, but a lot more light-hearted and enjoying and the fun and the drama on that side of FPL, rather than serious, have to win, have to have, like a guest, a podcast sketch, for example, that is, got top 10,000 finishes. Fantastic, obviously, fantastic. He'll be able to offer some fantastic FPL advice, but for me, that's a little bit dry. I do prefer like a little bit of banter, a little bit of fun, and you don't have to be an FPL expert to enjoy FPL and to make FPL content, really. It's about the passion and what you feel about it and your love for football, the sport. There's so much more to it. And that's just my take on it, and I think we could go somewhere with that, if I'm completely honest. So we'll sort that. Have the FPL show ever contacted you? Would love to see you on that. No, they have not. They do know I exist, though, just because one of my friends works in broadcasting, and he's spoken about them to me. So apparently they know I exist, but no invite so far. Not sure if I'll get any or not. I'm new around here. I've only been sort of around FPL. I mean, no one had heard of me 6 months ago, so I'm still pretty new. Thoughts on simply FPL quitting? Well, I'm not entirely surprised. He wasn't passionate about the content. He said that to me. He wasn't passionate about the content. He just made it. I don't know. I think he does it kind of for the money, maybe. I don't know. Moldy says, FPL show needs to mix it up and have some new guests. Well, it's always nice to mix things up. But, the guests that they do have on the FPL show right now, they are good, like very good. There's no one who goes on the FPL show and I think, oh, they're a bit boring, they're a bit dry. I think they're all really interesting kind of people. who are good at FPL as well, you know. And that's what I do think you do have to find that balance, because at the end of the day, if you're reading a blog, you know, maybe written form content, whether you're looking at charts or something like that, or infographics, then yes, it's all about FPL expertise. But in these kind of platforms, video content, maybe audio content to a lesser degree, but certainly with video content, the entertainment, people will tune out. If I know all my stuff, but just sit here and, you know, no personality, not excited about what I'm talking about, then people will tune out. That doesn't work. I think that's where a lot of people have gone wrong in the past, which is why I was so keen to get involved in the FPL YouTube community, because I don't know, I've got a bit of experience in YouTube and talking in front of a camera and stuff, and I thought maybe that'd be a nice, I thought maybe I could be a fresh face in the YouTube content sphere, right? So that's what we're doing. Simply FPL wasn't monetized, was he not? Wait, he must have been. Really? Yeah. Lightning FN says they recommended you. That's why I'm watching. Who recommended? Simply FPL. Fair enough. Simply FPL swore too much. Is that why he got demonetized? Damn. Did he get a strike or anything? Yeah, at the end of the day, he wasn't that bothered. He didn't enjoy making the content. He wasn't doing it passionately. And you can't do YouTube. YouTube is not rewarding enough. And you know, obviously there are mega YouTubers. There are, unless you have a genuine passion for the content that you're creating, you can't make it on YouTube, because it's not financially rewarding. The only rewards you can get from it, certainly at the start, are, you know, if you enjoy interaction with people, if you enjoy making videos, if you enjoy editing videos, if you enjoy making graphics, and you find that in and of itself rewarding, then fine, you can go past the tough bits of YouTube. And believe me, YouTube is a long old journey. You can't just wake up and become and have a good channel. I've been making videos for 10 years. I made through 9 out of those 10 years, and probably made, I mean, to be fair, probably a couple of £1,000 total over 9 years of regular uploads and stuff like that. No money in it. I was just doing it because I love doing it, and that's how I built out the experience. You really just, you have to enjoy it if you're going to make it, because there's nothing for you at the start. There really is nothing for you. Lightning FS says simply FPL didn't stand the hate comments. That's why he quit. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Dancross says, I think the interaction with viewers is what makes you stand out. From what I've seen, in my opinion, don't watch many other FPL channels, to be fair. There are other people who obviously interact with their audience. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've got my own ideas of what makes a good YouTube channel, and I try and implement them. And, you know, a lot of trial and error. And you know, people might not notice, there's been a lot of trial and error on this channel. Some things have failed, but when they failed, they have been brushed aside so quickly that you don't even notice them. And that's another thing with YouTube, and pretty much with any walk of life. You kind of got to try things and accept when things don't work. For example, you know, if you want to, and I do like talking about YouTube, so we'll keep talking about it. And I'm sure a few of you guys have toyed with the idea of making YouTube content yourself, so maybe this is relevant to you as well. But for example, you want to make Minecraft videos. You make your first Minecraft video, it got 10 views. You make your next Minecraft video, it got 10 views. You know, you make a third Minecraft video, you got part 1, you got part 2, you got part 3. At what point do you say, maybe I won't make a part 4, maybe I'll try something different? The answer is after 2. If something isn't working, you can't keep going with it. Find something that works, bring in an audience. Eventually, you'll be able to make the content you want to make. But you do kind of have to find a niche, find something that some other people are interested in. yeah, you have to, like, I've made particularly in pre-season. Well, you know, okay, here's an example. I used to make captain videos every single week. I noticed that they were my worst performing videos. People just weren't interested in them every week. Now, sometimes they did okay. Sometimes they did badly. The weeks they did okay is when there were genuine questions around who you should captain. And on other game weeks, there was like always one or two really obvious captain choices to have, and nobody wanted to watch a captain's video on that game week. Previously, captain video was every single game week, but I decided to cut that. Okay, we're not going to do a captain's video every week anymore. So drop the video. We'll do it now and again when I think it's relevant. Other times, not happening. That's fine, and that works. There's you know, right, okay, pre-season I made a video analysing Fulham and the players from Fulham, because they were a newly promoted team, with the idea that I'd then do Leeds and I'd then do West Brom. I'd make the full three and make an analysis on all three series. But then the first one, I did the Fulham one, it got 6,000 views, which at that time was far below what I was getting on the average video. So I thought, no, we'll cut it. We won't even bother with the others two. People aren't interested. Let's move on. Because you've got to find what people are interested in, you know. James Beacock says, love your passion for it, especially when you captain Bamford, wasn't it? That was YouTube gold. Well, I mean, we've had a couple of interesting captains. Sometimes they come off, sometimes they don't. Ethan Fernandez says, the American YouTubers / vloggers do really well, but they don't. And you can say this with any kind of YouTuber. You only see the successful ones. You don't see the, and you're going to think I'm exaggerating, tens of thousands that fail. So there's no golden ticket. It's a lot of hard work. There's very little reward at the beginning. I think it is so rewarding, and anyone who has any interest in video creation, honestly, go for it. Just go for it. You won't. If you enjoy what you do, you will regret nothing. Time is not wasted when you are spending it enjoying yourself. I truly believe that. Chat isn't working. Chat isn't moving. No one is chatting. Yeah, it's probably that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're past talking about FPL, aren't we? And yeah, people tune out. But to be fair, this is something that I'm at the start of my YouTube channel. I would not have been able to talk about anything other than FPL, and that's something else I learned. Just stick to talking about FPL stuff and FPL alone. Don't throw too much personality into it, because people weren't too interested in my personality. Who am I? Who's this person? I'm here for the FPL advice. Don't care about the person. That's how people think at the start. I'm now lucky enough to have enough of you guys engaged, and I know I'm starting to know a lot of you guys on a personal level. I talk to you guys in the chat every single week. I know your names, you know mine. Now we've got that kind of relationship. We can talk a little bit about other stuff, which I think is just my absolute favourite thing about YouTube. I think that is my favourite, and I think that's probably a good time to leave the stream as well, because we've gone wildly off topic. You guys always throw me wildly off topic at the end of the streams, but I love it. I enjoy talking to you guys. I really do. I really do. Right, guys. I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm going to do with my evening. Watch the football, I suppose. That's on soon. Other than that, I don't know. Maybe have a beer? Who knows? It's Friday. But yeah, guys, good luck with Gameweek 33. I'm sure you're all going to absolutely smash it. Hope all your captains pay off. I hope, in particular, Salah pays off. And hopefully all smash it. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done already. Thank you so much for watching, and once again, good luck in the game week, and I will see you guys on Monday for a review stream. Alright, cool guys, cheers, see you later, bye.